So this time we'll be looking at, from the Marvel Legends Face-Off series, the Kingpin. And I have him here, of course. This is a 2-pack, so he is packaged with Daredevil. We'll revisit Daredevil at a later time. Card has a little write-up about the Daredevil versus the Kingpin. We have here on the bottom the 3 sets that were part of the Face-Off series. Kingpin, Daredevil with their variant forms, with the black suited Kingpin with an angry face and the unmasked Daredevil. You hear the Hulk and Leader with their variants, and Captain America and Red Skull with their variant. Now you do get a little powers and ability charts and statistics for both figures, and instructions on how to set up the little base system, which is something that I don't know, it was a nice attempt, but I don't think it was carried off as well as it could have been. All of them came with a stand for that you would plug in these clear stands for both the figures. And the theory being that you could pose them in like a little battle scene, like I have here. And these stands here were just versions of the same old stands that they had used with previous releases of the individual figures, jointed at 2 different spots where you could tighten them to make sure they didn't come loose. You see, of course, Fisk Industries, a couple of ninjas there, even got Bullseye, and the cityscape in the windows, and ninjas coming in through the door. The base has some details of flooring and mechanics, although I don't know exactly why you would have this in the middle of your office, but that's the way. And it could be compacted up and for storage. I just think that the base was too clunky. Anyway, it just didn't work as well as it should have. Not to say that it doesn't work, but it just could have been done a lot better. On to the Kingpin himself. Now, the Kingpin, also known as Wilson Fisk, first appears in Amazing Spider-Man number 50 in 1967. Yes, he starts out as a Spider-Man villain and moves to a Daredevil nemesis, really. I guess in the late 70s, early 80s. Pretty good face sculpt, sculpting on the clothes, the ascot. The jacket here is actually a rubber plastic over a vest. Now, it does not unbutton, but it is one whole piece, but it gives a nice little layered look to the figure. The Kingpin being not so much all fat as really dense muscle and fat. He's more like a sumo wrestler than say the obese man. But if you can see the forgive the upshot there, you can see how different the waist part is to the upper torso. Some other details. He's got a nice little pinky ring with some sort of symbol on it. He's got pockets on his coat. Some nice detailing on the shoes. And the paint is alright. His skin is kind of orangey, but not enough to where it sort of screams out, I'm an Oompa Loompa. Now, I would have maybe gone a little bit lighter. His white jacket, I don't know if I would have picked the white jacket. It does get a tendency to collect dirt, so I have to clean it very often. I've just cleaned them up for this video, so it's not that apparent now. But something to look for if you're going to be keeping him on the shelf out of his package. For his accessories, he has his cane, his walking stick, that he doesn't really hold all that well. You kind of got to balance it out. That's the one thing about the figure that sort of irks me. I typically pose him just hanging on to it like that. His head is on a ball joint, but because of the sculpting of his thick neck and his ascot there, you can't really get any big up and down movement, just side to side, and a little bit of the left and right. His arms go all the way around, and they kind of go in and out, but because of the sculpt of the jacket there, they're very tough to move. He's got a bicep swivel, a bend at the elbows, no wrist rotation. His wrist bends. His fingers are all on one joint. He has waist articulation. His legs move forward and back, in and out, rotate at the thigh, double knee joint. His does have a little bit of bend on the ankle, but because of his pants trousers, you don't get a lot of it. A pivot on the foot, and he does have toe articulation as well. Okay, so the Kingpin of crime, or Wilson Fisk, starts off wanting to take over a coalition of New York mobs, and he gets involved in the abduction of J. Jonah Jameson, which brings in Spider-Man. And so he clashes with Spider-Man a couple of times. Through the years, he's built up a sizable enterprise of legitimate businesses as well as a criminal empire. And he's made a name for himself in those legitimate businesses as well as being a philanthropist. And he marries a woman named Vanessa and has a son with her named Richard. Richard faked his own death to become a schemer when he learned what his father was. And he became this schemer to take over his father's businesses. This ends when Vanessa learns his wife, Vanessa learns what he has done and who he is, and he vows to give up crime for his wife. Well, Vanessa supposedly dies, and he feels that his vow to her is no longer valid, so he returns to crime. And one of the first things he does is hire Bullseye to kill Daredevil. And he then hires Elektra to kill Foggy Nelson. And that's all during the classic Frank Miller run.